Hi everyone, and welcome to the Daily Citizen News Update. Our team is back from covering the 2020 campaign, as well as the protests that occurred in Washington, D.C. on election night. That takes us to our top story. Who will be the next president of the United States? Our team has been covering the legal challenges launched by both President Trump and former Vice President Biden in key battleground states, and we'll have an update on where things stand in that process in just a moment. But first, I want to take a moment to address some of the criticism we received on our reporting since the election. As a Christian nonprofit organization, our job is to provide you with information and reporting from a faith-based, nonpartisan perspective. At times, you may agree with what we report. At other moments, you may not. In the last 7 days, our team has written articles covering all sides of the election saga, from how pollsters again missed the mark just as they did in 2016, to the legal avenues available to the president and what he'd have to do to win, to the possibility of election fraud and where things stand in runoff elections, to what policies a potential President Biden might pursue. What we have not done is to declare a winner of the 2020 presidential election. Both the Trump and Biden campaigns have said that they will wait for the official certification to occur in December, and yet both sides over the last week have, at various points, prematurely declared victory. While it appears at this point President Trump has a significant deficit to overcome in multiple swing states, he and his campaign are within their rights to investigate claims of voter fraud to ensure a free and fair election did indeed take place, much as some Democrats did in the immediate aftermath of 2016's electoral process via the Mueller probe. When the results from those legal challenges are known, the election will be certified and we'll know officially who the next president is, not before. I want to now bring in my colleague Zach Mettler, who is well rested after our trip to D.C. last week. Zach, what are the current numbers for President Trump and Vice President Biden in the crucial swing states of Arizona, Georgia, and Pennsylvania?
So in those three key swing states, Vice President Biden currently leads in all three. Now, the Trump campaign has also brought lawsuits in all three of them, multiple lawsuits in Pennsylvania, and so the results could change. But as of now, Vice President Biden currently leads by 53,000 votes in Pennsylvania, by 14,000 votes in Georgia, and by over 11,000 votes in Arizona. Now, this week, the Georgia Secretary of State declared a total by-hand recount of all the votes cast in that state, as well as an audit of the election. So if you're worried about election security, you should take some comfort in that.
And how long is that recount supposed to take? When will we know the results of that recount?
So November 20th is when they have to have the results of that done.
Okay.
And then in Arizona, right now, you need under 200 vote difference between the two candidates in order to have a recount. So it's much less likely that we'll see a recount in Arizona.
So after these legal challenges and recounts are done, when will we know officially the winner? When will the election officially be certified?
So on December 14th is when the Electoral College will be held, and we'll officially know the winner of the 2020 presidential election.
Well, it's been a long time in the making, but we're looking forward to finally knowing
1 month from now
who will be the next president of the United States. Thanks, Zach. Next up, many conservatives turned to Fox News as a trusted source of information during the 2020 campaign, but were left feeling burned after the network called the crucial swing state of Arizona for Vice President Biden early on election night. Is the network changing direction, or is this just a blip on the radar? Brittany Raymer has more.
The news is supposed to provide you with the facts and nothing else, but we all know that doesn't really happen anymore. Every national news station has a specific angle. CNN and MSNBC are liberal, and Fox News leans conservative. But will this always be the case? After this last election, it looks increasingly like Fox News is abandoning at least some of its conservative base, and instead moving in a bit of a different direction. This was extremely evident after Fox declared Arizona for Biden early on election night, before all the ballots had been counted. The race, though Biden remains in the lead, is still exceptionally close. It could be a sign that Fox News is moving in a bit of a different direction, which will be disappointing for its millions of fans. While every news organization should strive to work simply off facts and not an agenda-driven narrative, most news outlets have fully abandoned this simple principle. But here at the Daily Citizen, we aim to give you the truth, not propaganda or conspiracy.
Those are the top stories our team has been covering this week. For more updates, visit thedailycitizen.org. And you can also now follow the team on Parler. We'll leave you with highlights of our election night coverage, and we hope to see you next time. Thanks for tuning in. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Daily Citizen's live election night coverage, coming to you this evening from Washington, D.C. And behind me, of course, a White House. The prize of the evening, 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, which President Trump hopes to remain a resident of, and Vice President Biden hopes to move into.
The Biden campaign's strategy is basically just to hold the Rust Belt states. Those include Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. If he does that, President Trump could win all the Sun Belt states of Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, and Arizona, and Joe Biden would still be elected president. And then there's one more that I want to highlight here, and that is the very important state of Ohio. For the last 13 election cycles, whoever has won the state of Ohio has gone on to win the presidency, and no Republican has ever won the presidency going back to Abraham Lincoln, who was the first Republican president, without winning the state of Ohio.
Ironically, we were told that tonight, would be a night of protests and perhaps violence and looting. So far, that is not the case. In fact, I venture to say that there's more media here, as you'll see behind me in a second, than there are actual protesters. Let's take a walk down this way. I'll take you on a little tour. We're marching with these BLM activists. Why are you guys marching tonight? What are you hoping to accomplish?
I'm hoping to get some more equality for my people.
Okay, and you?
We want Donald Trump out of office. He needs to be out of office, and we're not going to stop until he's out of office.
Thank you for that, Zach, and thank you guys for watching our coverage this evening. We'll have updates over the coming days as to where the election stands. I'm joined this evening by special guest, former Special Assistant to President George W. Bush, Tim Gegline. Tim, you've got some experience with this very situation from the year 2000.
Well, I would never have thought that 20 years ago I'd be standing in front of the Supreme Court after 32 of the 36 days during Bush v. Gore being in Florida. In fact, I remember saying goodbye to a friend of mine who was in Tallahassee after the Supreme Court had declared that George W. Bush was the President of the United States. And the last thing he said to me is, "You'll never be through anything like this again." Well, here we are.
Just to recap, so the path for victory for President Trump is that these currently contested states that he has to win are North Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania,
and he's got to win
and either
any other
Arizona
state.
or Nevada.
Arizona or Nevada, yep.
Or another state.
Or
right?
Wisconsin if there's a recount.
And for the vice president, he has to win what states?
Well, right
or
now,
hold on to.
He's got to hold on to Michigan and Wisconsin, as it looks like he's likely to. And if he wins Pennsylvania, then it's pretty much over.